Right. Well, hey guys, I don't know who's on this call, but I'm sure it's a lot of great investors or people that are looking to get into investing and into note investing, and some of you into real estate investing. So, thank you, Phil and Melanie, for asking me to speak at your note meetup tonight. It's a pleasure. It really is always to speak in front of any audience that is, interested in learning how to invest and grow really as an individual. So that's why the topic of my presentation is getting to the next level. So just a little bit about me that I want to talk about. I actually started young, so I always think it's a good idea to start sooner than later, but it's never too late to start either. So I just want people to remember that, it's, start as soon as you can, but it's never too late to start. So I started in 1999 and I started a painting company. And so I'm going to give a little bit of background on myself and then we'll go from there. But I started a painting company and I grew it to about a $5 million company. And that company was the first company I ever started. It was something that I just came across, met, a friend of mine who was in the industry. And next thing you know, we are, moving pretty quick and doing some great things. I had a vision. I guess I've always had a vision for opportunities. And, I think there's visionaries, and then there is so to speak, implementers, or if you want to call them integrators, as EOS would say. But I think you could also be both. And I think there is special skills in being a visionary and also being an integrator. Hopefully a lot of people on here, I believe, are visionaries, because they're here to learn how to improve in the business, the note business, or the real estate business, real estate investment business, or create other opportunities for themselves and their families to have a better life. So in 2001, I started a company by the name of J&B Construction, right after the painting company. Now it's called Get Pro Construction. But the reason why I started that company was because of building relationships and networking. And that's what we're all doing here tonight. Phil and Melanie and myself have a relationship. We're friends, and we have a trust relationship. So when you create that, you create opportunity, and that's very important. So we had the pleasure of meeting each other. I think back, 2-3 years ago, and we met in Texas. And sometimes people click right away. And when you're a giver, which Phil and Melanie are, you tend to attract other givers, and there's an abundance of opportunity when that happens. So Get Pro Construction was created through building relationships with clients of my painting company. And then what I started doing, roofing, siding, interior renovations. And then we also had our painting division, which was doing a lot of painting. So then I started saying, wow, okay, here at a young age, I'm doing well for myself. I had saved up, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 at the time. And I started buying lots. This was back in the early 2000s. And I started buying lots because I thought that was the right way to invest in real estate. Because I didn't know all the other opportunities of buying notes, of fix and flipping homes, flipping homes to investors as rentals. I didn't know this business. I wasn't subjected to it. So if I did, I probably would have been doing what I'm doing now back then. So I was building homes. I built approximately 20 homes. I probably made money on 15 or 16 of them. Some of them you build for a homeowner, and the homeowner wants finishes, and the contract wasn't written right, and you just want to do what you have to do to get the home, completed and sold. So I learned, and that's important. So sometimes I feel in life we fail forward, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people, sometimes are ashamed to say the word fail. I don't think that's a shameful word. I am not happy when I have failed, but I have failed. And I like to think that I've learned lessons from failing, and I have every time, and I implement it into the next stage of my life. So that's when I'm talking about some of these homes that I failed on. I learned from it, and I learned how to budget better, how to have a better team around me, how to have a better project manager, things of that nature, how to price out your materials better, all that good stuff.
Mm.
So in 2006, I started buying and holding rental homes, and I started building up my own portfolio. I'm up to a couple hundred units, and I really got into rental homes by accident. I was buying them as double lots to tear them down and build homes. So sometimes you get into things by accident and you see that there's opportunity and you do great with it. And I love the real estate business. I love the rental business. Putting in the right tenant is definitely a big deal. But it is definitely a great way to make passive income, and there's so many tax benefits to it. I just feel it's great for everyone to have it in their portfolio. In 2011, I stumbled across lending money. Actually, some associate of mine mentioned that they need some money and this and that. And, they said, Mike, can we borrow money from you? And we have collateral. And I told him, he said, and, I don't want it, I want you to charge me for it because just because we're friends, you can use the money for something else. So I lent some money to a gentleman, and next thing you know, I started doing a lot of loans. It was, private money lending, and I felt it was a good side business. And when I'm not buying real estate and I have extra money, I do put my money out to work, whether it be in the form of transactional funding or the form of a short-term 120-day loan for a fix and flip, or 6 months loan. I'm sorry, for a fix and flip. It's fine, I think lending is very interesting, and a lot of investors, that you find out a lot about the note business a lot when you start lending, because ultimately, what do we have? We have a mortgage and we have a promissory note, and it's backed by collateral. And the lending business also taught me a lot about mortgages, so which we'll get to in a couple minutes here. Then I seen an opportunity. I started a company called Strategy Properties, which sells turnkey properties to investors all around the country, and we've probably transacted with 20 different countries around the world. So we've done a lot of business in that sense, and I continually operate that business. Today, we operate it on a daily basis, and it's a wonderful business that I feel that I'll always be in. And there's a lot of moving parts in it, but it's a great business. So what happened with that was an ancillary business was created out of it, which was ProWay Property Management. And when we started selling the rental properties, they need someone to manage it. So I became a property manager. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, how many mistakes I made in property management. And you talk about failing. I feel I've learned so many lessons in there. It's unbelievable, from the right person in the right seat to the right systems to the right processes. It's unbelievable. If you don't have it in order, especially in the property management business, there's so many moving parts that you can lose so much money faster than you could make it. During that time frame, right around before that, I started buying notes. So I had sold my company, as you see above, in 2011. So I said, okay, well, I have all this money now. I had saved up money throughout the years, and I sold the company. So my first big play outside of owning rental homes was buying a package of mortgage notes. And I learned it pretty quick. I went to some attorneys. I didn't, at the time, I think it was 2011-ish. There wasn't groups like this that you can talk and find out. Well, I didn't know of any that you can talk and find out the process, but I basically boiled it down to I am the bank, and I have, some options here. Either it's performing or it's non-performing. If it's non-performing, we're going to send out a hello letter and we're going to say, hey, let's remodify your loan. Let's give you cash or keys, or we're going to have to foreclose on you. And I learned it the hard way. Most of that portfolio went really well. Did I have some bad ones in there? Yes, I did. Definitely had some ones that I either lost a little bit of money or I broke even on, but I learned it. And I wasn't scared to jump in and really get started in it. And then now I actually restarted my painting company, which I sold back in 2011 because I found out it's a little bit of a love of mine, and I love it. I love the opportunity, the networking, the building the relationships, and servicing a client and delivering high results. So as you probably see here, I do a bunch of different things. So I'm not the jack of all trades. I do well at what I do because most of the stuff that you see here is construction based and real estate based. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's move on with the presentation. So I'm a setter. So I like to, find out what's, I feel like finding out what's your why is very important. If you know your why, it's kind of like knowing your destination when you're driving. You're paving your pathway towards success, and knowing your why is very important. And everyone's why is different in life, I believe. And you know, whys can be, to take care of your family, to to retire comfortably, to just so many different whys. And I guess I don't know if people can type on here. Maybe tell me some of your whys. I want to know some of your whys. I know what my why is. My why is my family, my future, my family's future, my kids' future, my parents being comfortable, and me knowing that I have opportunity as sky is the limit. That's very important for me to be comfortable. So one of my whys is comfort, but comfort also equals to me having the sky is the limit. And I feel I have that, being an entrepreneur. So I haven't seen anyone mention, please put up a why. I did, I won't share your name or anything, but, I like to see what are your guys' why? Why are you guys on this call tonight? Why are you guys in notes? Why are you guys interested in real estate? I think, oops. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. People are saying things like building generational wealth,
Okay.
less stress than a W-2 job, rolling into retirement, all about the family, teach my kids and grandkids to be smart. For
Well,
Phil
that
and
is,
for Phil and I, we're like, we really did this for me to be able to work from home and be here for the family and with the family, and then for Phil to have an exit when he leaves his day job. But really, it's also, we'd like to do some more traveling after we lived in China. We really enjoyed that, and then giving back, to the community.
so your why is, being able to take care of your kids to the best of your ability and raise them and maximize them, travel more, and give them back to the community. That's beautiful. I mean, that's your core values as a family, and that's so important. And everyone who shared their why, I really appreciate that. I know, Melanie, you said them out loud, but those are all incredible whys. So I don't think there's any right why or any wrong why, but that's incredible. And I hope that every one of you achieve that, and you can, and we can together by being resources for each other, and really, being sponges and keeping learning, different routes to build our businesses, and to, in these times of COVID, to be able to have a virtual meeting, and in the future, in-person meeting. So what is your why is very important. That's very important. So what ways to make money in real estate? So a lot of you on here, I'm sure, are fix and flippers. You own rental properties. You've wholesaled before. You own notes. Probably done a little bit of everything. And I look at it like all of them are great. Some people sometimes say, well, gosh, I just hate rental homes. Some people hate notes. Some people love notes. Some people love fix and flip. Really, I don't think that there's any right or wrong investing. It's what you're good at and what you love to do. For example, with notes, I love them because they're easy passive income. But then I love real estate, being a landlord, because it is also passive income with some headaches from the tenants. But you also have the tax advantage. So you have a tax depreciation advantage there. So I do personally on a real estate level. I am mainly a fix and flipper, and then I buy and hold, and I have I do notes, and that's what I really concentrate on as an investor. So, people always wonder, why do you buy real estate at a discount? Or why does a home go towards foreclosure? Or why to foreclosure? Or why does someone, sell for, quick, for cash? Before I get to my point of the 4Ds, I want to tell you, I own 2 homes in Chicago right now. And I am just so burnt out of owning those homes because I have a horrible property. I've had 3 terrible property management company experiences. I'm tired of it. I just want to get, my $110,000 or $120,000 out of there on those 2 homes and just get done with it. If someone was to offer me $100,000 tomorrow, I might take it. So sometimes people are super motivated, just like I'm talking about right now. And they don't have to be in a distressed situation, because I'm not distressed to sell those homes, but I would sell them. I just don't have the proper setup. And, I got into working in, owning properties in Chicago, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Alabama. And I always say, I guess I had to try it to get it out of my system, but there's enough opportunity in my own state. When I find that I tapped out of all the opportunities in my own state, which will never happen, then I can go elsewhere. Or if I find some great deal that's apartment complex in another state where I could have a on-site manager that works for me and have controls, that's a good play. But I went into these single family homes, and you live and learn. So that's being a motivated seller. And a motivated seller, like myself, sometimes doesn't have to be in a really bad situation. They just want to sell. But let's talk about the reasons generally why people sell. And that's the 4Ds: downsizing, death, divorce, or debt. That's why people sell real estate at a discount. And for note investors, it's great to learn other aspects of real estate, just like Phil and Melanie have, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is how I feel that we are in real estate investing, or even in our careers. We're a student, and I'm looking at it from the real estate level. We're a student, wholesaler, rehabber, landlord, and then we're structuring deals. A deal architect, to me, is the highest level of the food chain, because what are you doing? You're syndicating, you're running a fund, you're doing big things. And I feel that is really, that's where the big money is. When you have a track record and people know that you are out there to do the right things, and you're very skilled in the segment of real estate that you're in, whether it be apartments, whether it be commercial buildings, whether it be self-storage, you are the skilled person that people know has a system and process and procedure to find great deals, manage them, increase the value and make money for everyone. So that's a big thing. And I know some of you on this call, have talked about becoming running a fund and whatnot. That's great. That's taken it to the next level. And that's what this presentation is all about. So let's talk about networking. I mentioned it earlier, but networking is really, to me, in life overall, a key component in success. Say you're an engineer at Ford Motor, Phil. You being, amazing at what you're doing as an engineer and networking with your coworkers and, people knowing you, when there's opportunities that come up within the company, that's where network kicks in. Networking in real estate, if people know me as a rehab contractor or as a construction contractor, they're going to call me just like Phil and Melanie did when their home burnt down, and we were able to come up with solutions and get the home ready, and they sold it in the fastest time I've ever seen a home really sell. It was amazing. And they made a heck of a lot of money, but that's networking. We became friends because we had an abundance mentality, and we connected from the standpoint of, a trust relationship, a trust and respect relationship. So networking with, banks, with asset managers, with, people who own land contracts. That's what note investors and us note investors have to do to buy more notes. If we want to buy more real estate, we have to also, asset managers are great. When foreclosures hit the fan, there's going to be a lot of, REO properties, real estate owned properties by the banks. So I always say, have more people know you more than you know them. And that's building your brand. That's building who you are. That's building, good content. Networking is crucial to success. Like I'm mentioning here, you're building mutually beneficial relationships. When opportunities arise, your name pops in the person's head, or they know that you're a professional in a certain segment, or that you can close, whatever it may be. And then we also become more educated by networking, by being on this call tonight and watching, Phil's, deal that he presented, which was, that was interesting to see, what you guys made over a couple years. So that was, the case study was very helpful for me to see that. But 60%, it's amazing. You look at it and you say, where does someone make that? Social media, when you talk about networking, be on social media, add people. Obviously, most of everyone on this call is on LinkedIn. I'd love to get some new ads tonight. My name is Michael Jordon on LinkedIn. You could look me up, but I want to connect with people. I write content, about real estate investing and renovations all the time. And I believe that, talking to someone like Phil and Melanie, that content helps them because, some of note investors become real estate owners because you end up foreclosing on the home, or you're in a situation where, you get cash or keys. And it's important to understand, the steps to get the home ready for sale. And I thought Phil and Melanie did a Class A job of doing that. And I'm sure tons of you on this call, are great at doing so too. But the reason why social media is important is when you brand yourself as a specialist in a certain area, hopefully you'll call me if you have a burn down, or you need a tenant turn, or you need a rehab, ask Phil and Melanie. We were in and out of those homes very quick. So this is not just to talk about myself. It's just talking about on social media who I am. I'm a real estate investor and I'm a construction contractor. That's who I am. That's what I do. And that's where you guys on this call should also be that to other people. They should know that you're a note investor, or you're looking to buy notes, or you run a fund. Brand yourself. Let people know who you are and what you do and what your goals are. And that's important. And I think that Phil and Melanie, I keep using your names because I don't know anyone else on the call, but also you guys are wonderful. But you brand yourselves as, I look at you guys as the note couple, or Phil and Melanie, the note investors. So that's great. That's really good. Having websites. So I have a website. One of my websites is Strategy Properties, and it's very clear what we do. We are Detroit investment rent. We sell Detroit investment rental homes, and we make sure to show our product. We make sure to have our number everywhere on the page. We make sure to show testimonials of what people think about our product, our services, all that good stuff. So that is very important to, as part of networking, using social media and websites to create your brand and also validate your brand. That's very important. So how to prosper in business. So throughout the last 21 years, I'm on this quest of always learning how to grow and make myself better. And one of the things that I think I will have for the rest of my life is being open-minded. Being open-minded to opportunities. Just because I'm a real estate investor and in the construction industry, doesn't mean that I can't be open-minded to buy a commercial building, because maybe I'm not personally in commercial, I'm in apartments. But what if there was a great deal and there was a tenant that wanted to lease the building out for 10 years if I did the build out? So being open-minded to me is very important. Also being open-minded about learning about notes. That was one thing that got me really into notes, is the fact that, I said, here's an opportunity. And if I can learn it, I know I can make additional income throughout the years. Setting goals. Setting goals is extremely important. I am really goal-oriented. I know where I want to be at the end of October. I know where I want to be at the end of November. I know where I want to be at the end of December. And then I know what I want 2021 to look like. Definitely it's having no coronavirus, that's for sure. That's in there. But as far as career-wise, my career, I definitely set goals, and I do focus a lot on issues, because I feel that, my goals should go smooth. And when issues pop up, I got to tackle that right away. And part of my issues sometimes that I have is the right people in the right seats and surrounding yourself with the right professionals. As a note investor, you got to have the right attorney for when you got to foreclose. You got to have the right servicer. I think earlier, Phil was talking about Madison Settlement Services, having the right title company when you need the right title company. All these are very important to surround yourself with the right people. And, that can be setting a goal of having, establishing a great team. That is actually one of my goals, to improve my team, to have the best team I could have. Every time I talk about my team, if I can say that I have the best team I've ever had at that point, I'm doing well. I'm moving forward. Some of the best business people in the world, I think it was Jack Welch. I think he fires his worst employees at the end of every year or something along those lines, because he always wants to continually have better and better and better people. So we can do that in our business worlds. If we have an attorney, doesn't mean we're set in stone with that attorney. What if there's someone better? What if there's someone more cost effective? What if there's a better title company? What if there's a better servicer who can, has better costs and easier to deal with. We always got to be open-minded, and we always got to set goals to improve ourselves. Processes are huge. We use lucid charts, and we generally process map out everything that we do step by step. And we also have, if we hit a certain point and we got to pivot, we got to know what to do in those situations too. So establishing processes are very important. Networking, like we talked about earlier, incredibly important. Branding yourself. If you have employees, have the right people on your team. Just like I talked about earlier, hold yourself and others accountable. So to me, those are the big rules of how to prosper in business. And you can plug this into your life on a daily basis. These are things that, if we do for ourselves, we're going to maximize probably the way, we, our careers go, and maybe even our relationships. And then hopefully we're going to rub off on our children, which we definitely do, and, people that are in our circle of influence. So that's huge. That's huge. So ways to increase profits in a business. So some of you run businesses, some of you maybe are solopreneurs. There's probably a mixed bag of everyone. But to me, I always look at it like I always had the mentality of increasing volumes. Increasing volume. My mindset has changed about that. I want higher margins. I want to cut overhead, and I want to create ancillary businesses. So these are, there's a saying, gross is for vanity, profit is for sanity. And that's true. I want to be as profitable as possible. Doesn't, if it means me having, 20 employees or 25 employees or having 8 and being incredibly profitable, I would take the 8. So to me, I'm always going after profitability and growth. And what I mean by growth, it doesn't necessarily mean doing more volume. It means growing and maybe becoming, more doing higher profitable jobs. So that's, something that I think is very important to see how you can be more profitable in business. I found ways to create ancillary businesses. So when I established Strategy Properties, I mentioned to you guys earlier that a property management company came out of that, and that's ProWay Property Management. And it was great because after, when you're selling homes, it's like you're selling and you're building another business. And we managed approximately 940 doors, I believe, somewhere around there, 950 doors. But it's definitely, was a business that was created as an ancillary business. And then, the construction arm, Get Pro Construction, is the arm that renovates homes. And then Get Pro Painting, which I got back into this year, services residential, commercial clients, does interior and exterior painting and epoxy flooring. Well, that was also, I wouldn't necessarily say it's, I would say it's an ancillary business of Get Pro Construction, because, we were hiring a lot of painters, and I was like, wow, okay, I can, hire these guys hourly, give them health insurance, give them, financial growth, structured financial growth throughout the years. I could have some really good painters, and I need them full time. We're always renovating, 30 homes, 25, 30 homes at a time. So, and then that's where I started taking my guys and doing third-party business. So I always definitely think it's a good idea to create ancillary businesses, but it's all about in your want. What do you want? So at the end of the day, my wants are different than yours. So, and my wants might be different in 10 years, or they might be different in 20 years. Hopefully, God gives me a long, healthy life, and, they may change throughout time. But right now, my wants are to maximize what I can do with my, with my abilities right now. So figure out all the angles to make money. Sometimes I say, if you're a note investor in Michigan, you could probably be a consultant for, out of state investors that are looking to buy notes. They need someone to, scope out the home. They need someone to, take care of, things, for them when they're not here. So, there's opportunities. If someone, sits down and really is a visionary, they can create opportunities out of anything they're doing. And sometimes they're great ones. So this is something I put together. I was thinking about employees and time management, process, and accountability. So, we always got to continually find ways to improve production, profitability, and, um, take risks. So one of the things of, it's to encourage risk taking. Failure is inevitable. Like we talked about earlier, failure is something that makes us stronger if it's utilized the right way. And definitely, we don't plan on ever failing in anything. But when we do, if we can take those experiences and plug them into the next segment of what we're going to do or the next phases, it's just going to help us out that much more. Being open to ideas. So Albert Einstein says the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. So, look at what's happened in the real estate market, over the last decade. It's changed incredibly. You went from people not, from homes on the MLS that you can go buy left and right to people outbidding, paying over asking price for real estate. So, I look at that has changed my business over time because I was at one point, flipping 20 to 25 homes a month. And I had to change my business to be able to flip 8 to 10 homes a month to turnkey investors and then be profitable in other areas, which is property management, construction. So we have to be able to change and we have to be open to change. If you're not open to change, look at these companies. Look what happened to them. Blockbuster. Netflix took them out. Kodak. The iPhone. Everyone's got a smartphone, iPhone or Android, and it's these companies. Toys R Us. You look at who took them out. Amazon. And also online companies that sell products. So it's quite amazing how times change, and the fact that we have to change with the times, not let the time change us. So here is a couple more things before I'm done, but a couple quotes that I love. It's never too late to live the life you want to live. And that's why ultimately I feel a lot of us are on this call tonight, is to build relationships, see how we can become more profitable, see how we can make more money. And I feel that's huge. Focus. This is something I love. Focus, follow on course until successful. With that mentality, you're going to be successful. You keep at it. You keep chipping away until you get to where you want to be. And that's called, perseverance. That is called striving for excellence. That is called maximizing yourself. The fist is much stronger than the finger. Working together is being stronger. So there's strength in numbers. There's strength in networking, strength in knowing people, and I think that's also very important too. Be patient, but not complacent. So I'm probably the most impatient person I've ever met, and that comes within me. Like I'm impatient with myself. I want to get from point A to Z, and I feel that there is a sense of urgency on a daily basis. And it feels good to get tasks done because I feel that I'm moving towards moving the ship forward. and that's important. So I think some people are complacent, and it's like, hey, well, yeah, we'll do it soon, or we'll get there, or eventually we'll do it. No, next thing you know, 25, 30 years will pass by. So I urge you, do it now. Have an urgency, have a sense of urgency, have a sense to, become a better note investor now. Have a sense of urgency to talk to more asset managers now. Have a sense of urgency to build up your LinkedIn connections now and let people know what you do. Have a sense of urgency to go to more meetup groups or be on more webinars to introduce yourself to people. So that's very important. So I want to end off with this. I look at it like this. All in all, what I talked about here, and I appreciate everyone's time, because I hopefully help someone take away one nugget, one piece of advice, something that will help them become better. I don't care if there's 2 people on a call, 1, 20. To me, at the end of the day, if I can help one person with a piece of advice that makes them better, I feel great. I feel that it's well worth the conversation and the time and efforts, to do so. So to me, to get to the next level is identifying your core excellence. Let's not try to be everything to everyone and, try to be the master of all trades, the master of all investing. If we're everything to everyone, so you become sometimes no one to anyone. I think, it's something that's saying something along those lines. So identify your core excellence. Me personally, I have identified my core excellence. I feel that I'm a visionary, and I feel that I'm a business builder. I feel that I am that those are my core values, and I love sales. But, am I the integrator, the operations person? No. I think that if I would have found more of operation personnel in my life that are incredibly, um, uh, competent and straightforward and hardworking in the construction industry, project managers and estimators, I think I would have been at a completely different level now. I've learned, that, you have to really find the right person. Don't settle, and, I think that's why it's very important to know what you're great at, to surround yourself with people that can complement what you're great at. Always IDS problems and threats in your business. So IDS is identify, discuss, and solve. If you ignore, that problem's not going away. I got problems in my business today, and I'm discussing them. And one of them is, softwares to have our field personnel. We have a lot of field personnel, maintenance techs, and construction workers. We got to make them more efficient. We got to maybe get that other 20 to 30% out of them, which is great for them so they can grow, and also great for our company so we can maximize profits. Doing business who you know, like, and trust. That's important too. I sometimes talk to people that I'm like, man, I cannot wait to get done with this conversation, or I do not want to call this person. And that's not a good feeling to me. I want to do business who I know, like, and trust. It'll make my life easier. So I want to meet as many people as possible. And that's the power of networking that comes in there. Don't believe in the analogy of working smarter and harder, as you have to work smarter and harder to get where you want to get. Then you can work smarter, not harder. So I hear people saying that all the time, like, hey, I'm just going to work smarter now. I'm not going to work as hard. You got to do both. You really do. You got to do both. And then when you're at the point when you have 10 or $20 million, and you can go out there and, buy apartment complexes that make you 8% a year or something along those lines, yeah, then you could work smarter when you're playing with, you know, a pile of money. But in the beginning, we all have to work hard and smart. And, you know, I say that, you know, some of you guys, I know, Phil, you know, you have to get up at night and you're on calls with, you know, the other side of the world. So that's working hard. But the goal is to eventually work smarter by, you know, building up your note business and creating passive income and being able to travel and spend that more time with the family. So um, I just wanted to point that out. I put that in there because that's not exactly true. Work smart and smarter, not harder. I think you got to build it up by doing both. I really do. Um, at the end of the day, this is my contact information for my investment company, my property investment company. I truly appreciate everyone's time. I hope that I gave a nugget to someone throughout the presentation, just talking about business, life, my experiences, and real estate investing. So I thank you very much, and I'm going to hand it over to Phil Nolny.
Thank you so much, Mike, for speaking with the Michigan Note Investor Forum, our virtual meetup group. You gave us so many nuggets, golden nuggets of wisdom. I can tell what you work hard and smart. I'm inspired by a lot of different things, but for me personally, I'm going to go after my goal setting. Sounds like you have goals like for each month, and that's something I want to look at and change up personally. So.
And for me, I took away a couple of things. One was being open to new ideas, because, I mean, for example, when we started out in notes, it was all about non-performing notes only, to the point where I wouldn't consider any performing notes. But, you know, as we started to open up to new ideas, looking into that, it's like, oh, wow, it's a great addition to a portfolio. Even just considering making REOs into rentals and such. You know, there are things to really consider. The other thing is, like Mel was sharing about goals, and really going after doing them much more frequently. Like at work, I have goals for every every week, and I review them every week. I don't do that so much in the business here, but that is something that we should consider doing. So thank you very much. By the way, for people online, if you could just put things into the chat window, your key takeaways, that would be great.